truck has an 18-speed Eaton AMT, automated manual transmission, Cummins 400 horsepower X15 diesel engine. A lot of people see this truck and think it's electric. No, it's good old-fashioned diesel power. Got the pedal coach system here in the front, kind of tells me a visual of how much fuel I'm feeding into the system. And we've got a complete digital gauge package that I designed and had a vendor build for us. Carbon fiber dash. The whole truck is carbon fiber, 100% on the cab. The bare cab itself, what they call the body and weight, weighs only less than 500 pounds. Carbon fiber is very light, of course, and very strong, but it doesn't withstand impact. It shatters upon impact. So for another 366 pounds, I built a full roll cage inside this truck, to protect this. So that roll cage is 1 3/4 inch DOM tubing, it's known as DOM, drawn over the mandrel. So it's seamless tubing. Very strong, very light. It's only 366 additional pounds. We have a full roll cage in this truck. The bottom part of the mirror eye is obviously our wide angle, like your spotter mirror would be. We also have a fifth monitor here associated with the mirror eye that shows me the blind spot over that way, so it's a really valuable feature right there. This truck is geared to do 114.5 miles an hour, but obviously we won't go that fast. It's also geared to do 850 RPM in 18th gear, going coast to coast if we wanted to. You want to do this one?
When you come to a truck stop, what are they curious about?
They want to know what kind of truck it is. They've obviously never seen anything like it because it's the only one like this in the world. I'm at the fuel pump putting fuel in it, and they asked me if it's an electric truck. I said, "Sir, I've got the fuel pump in my hand." You know, they want to know it's electric. It kind of, they think it's a Tesla truck or one of the newer versions of trucks that are coming out. The main thing I tell people is it's not square. It's the most aerodynamic truck in the world, in my opinion. It's got a coefficient of drag of 0.25. We've tested it in the software wind tunnel, which is called CFD, computational fluid dynamics. So we know just how slippery the truck cuts through the wind, right? It's just extremely aerodynamic. So when you have an aerodynamic truck, most aerodynamic truck you can have, the engine needs to make less power, and when you make less power, you use less fuel. This truck is a hybrid truck because it's not really conventional with the engine in the front, and it's not really a cab over where the driver and passenger sit between the engine, but the cab itself is a hybrid. I call it glass over engine sometimes.
Now, as far as the glass goes, it's not your typical order item. So tell me how you came about this shape of glass here on the front.
Yeah, it kind of looks like, if anybody watching your video is familiar with the Swedish supercar called Koenigsegg, it's kind of similar to that. The only other windshield I can think of that's really kind of similar, and it's just kind of an airplane shape, very panoramic, as you can see. That and how we've got the windows blend in at the back of it. I can just look over my shoulder like this, not even have to use the camera system, and see exactly what's going on back there, which is neat. But it just, my whole theory, my whole thesis is that whenever you divert air, that expends energy, and if you expend energy, you're using fuel to do that. So instead of having the air go up above the roof of the cab like most trucks do, I try to split the air in the middle. So instead of going the hypotenuse of the triangle of 13 feet 6 inches up, which is probably close to 20 feet or so, we split the air sideways like that, and we're only doing 4 feet 3 inches. There are no concave radii in this truck, if you notice. The truck is just perfectly blended around, so none of the air gets caught inside it. It just maintains a flow and goes around the truck.
Speaking about the design of the glass, just the last question. Is it a one-off design, or?
Yeah, it's a one-off design. Fortunately, I have a spare set of windshields at my shop in Connecticut, and the major cost of that windshield is the tooling. So when you make the tooling, you get the tooling done, basically the mold to make a windshield like that. The second windshield was only $1,000 more, but the first windshield was a lot more. because of the tooling. The tooling was an expensive part.
Yeah. When you did do some touring across the U.S., did you carry some freight at all?
Well, we did a coast-to-coast run. We left San Diego, California, a few weeks back with 39,900 pounds of clean reef material, and we delivered that to Jacksonville, Florida. So this is Shell and I are complete synchronicity with how we feel about trucking with a super truck, right? This is a super truck, but we haul real freight with it. We just went coast to coast, and we grossed over 73,000 pounds. So some OEMs have built trucks similar to this. They never even go on the road with them. They trailer them to shows, right? Shell and myself wanted to show that this is a real world super truck. I mean, we ran into traffic. We ran into, I pulled into Florida, a state trooper pulled us over. He was just so intrigued with the truck. So we ran into heavy downpours, and I had 75-mile-an-hour winds going out to California and west of Salt Lake City with this truck. So we wanted to prove that this truck is a real world truck and not what I call a trailer queen. A trailer queen is a derogatory automotive term that some people use to talk about a real nice show vehicle that is already trailered to and from the shows, right? We drive this truck with freight in it. We just went coast to coast with freight.
That's nice.
So now we're doing 65 miles an hour and 1,024 RPM. One of these trucks I built, Chris, was 1983. I built one of the first aerodynamic trucks on the whole planet. And then I actually retired from trucking in 1986. I did operations management for big companies like Ryder and other truck type transportation companies. And then in 2012 I built the second truck. It's called the bullet truck. People called it the bullet truck because they said it resembled a bullet train. And then we only drove that in 2012. And then Shell saw that truck on my website, and they commissioned me to build this truck for them. And we signed a contract for that, and started talking to Shell in 2013, and we actually started building the truck in 2015. So it took us about 3 years and 18,000 man hours, myself and my crew back at the shop to put this truck together.
That's pretty awesome.
Thanks.